700 WLW podcast. This is Eddie and Tracy on demand on 700 WLW.
All right, back with Eddie and Tracy. This thing's been brewing for quite a while. The debate tonight at the Creation Museum, Petersburg, Kentucky. Bill Nye the Science Guy, because when you think of, scientific geniuses, you get Bill Nye the Science Guy. The Creation Museum founder, Ken Ham, talking about science v. creation.
Yeah. Let me ask you, you religious at all? We never talk about this stuff. It's kind of...
I'm not a really religious guy.
Yeah.
I have my own, I got my own belief system, yeah.
See, I believe in God and, raised Catholic, First Communion, all that kind of stuff. We just never talk about it. I never really ask you anything and dive into something. But, yeah, I believe in God. It just wasn't pulled out of nowhere, people. I mean, just look around. It's hard to explain, isn't it? Unless you believe in God.
But do you believe the Creation Museum version of things, that the Earth is only X thousand
I believe
years
in God.
old?
I believe in God.
So you believe in, divine whatever,
Yes.
creation?
Yes. Yes, I believe in everything.
That was, but no, I'm just saying. But that was started back millions and billions of years ago.
Right. But you don't believe in God. You don't.
Yes, I do.
Because that bothers me. I got to tell you, and you know how much I like and respect you and stuff, but when you say you don't believe in God, that just...
I don't. Listen, it's one of those...
I don't want to get into that.
That's what I'm saying. It's one of those things...
It's a slippery slope here. And
really
it's your thing. It's just, I believe.
Listen,
don't ask me. It's like peeing in the wind, people. I'm not going to be able to convince you if you don't believe it. So, I can't sit here and try to preach to you because I'm not that, because I don't know. But I know what I know, and it's just kind of caught me off guard.
I believe in a God. I don't believe in maybe the God.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get done.
Well, we're going to talk to this fella about it, and I pretty much know what Tony Arnold thinks. Tony, how are you?
I am well. How are you gentlemen this afternoon?
You represent you are what, PR for
the Tri-State Free Thinkers, yes, sir.
And also, now, do you have anything to do with the Kentucky Regional Director for American Atheists?
Well, that's the gentleman who runs our group. He got hung up tonight, so I'm taking your call and answering any questions you have, and trying to drum up some support to come out and watch this event with a bunch of atheists, agnostics, and free thinkers.
Now, will you, Tony, take some calls from listeners if we invite them to call in right now?
I will do my best.
749-7000, 1-800, the big one, pound 700 on AT&T. We'll get right back to our friend Tony Arnold, but right now, Bruce, what do you got?
Looking at about a bit of heavy traffic for you now on 71 southbound Reading to the bridges. 71 northbound really filling up between the Lateral and Pfeiffer. 75 taking a real big hit from right around the Western Hills Viaduct off and on up through Reagan, and then again GE to 275 southbound at Laughlin heavy, and from Ezra Charles to Kyle's Lane, and starting to see 275 get heavy through Loveland Madeira as well. I think a lot of folks are headed home early. I'm Bruce Davis with traffic sponsored by Watson's for all the fun. 700 WLW.
Fox 19 storm tracker weather. Tons of bad weather heading our way, depending on where you're at, depending on what you get. Winter storm warning in effect for the northern counties of Indiana and Ohio, and I'm talking about the tri-state northern counties. Ice storm warning for everyone else. We're talking about the snow getting into the area, starting a snow, freezing rain after that. Then we're talking, the big picture, 4 to 6 inches of snow north of the city, ice accumulations of a 1/4 inch or more in the metro, the low of 25. It's 31 now, 700 WLW. Our guest, Tony Arnold, he does PR for the president of Tri-State Free Thinkers. So, Tony, I got to be honest with you. I've never heard of this organization. What do you guys just get around and debunk everything? What exactly is this organization about?
The organization's been around for a few years. We range anywhere between 200 and 300 members. I'm sure this event will up our membership. We bring in prominent speakers, and they come in and give their versions of things. And here's the key: afterwards, we get to ask those speakers questions, and we get to debate over the issue. I can't think of any church where you get to debate or ask the preacher questions after they have espoused their dogma. It's just taken as is, and people walk away with it. We actually question people, and we discuss these issues. And we also do a lot of community service work. We do charity work. We work with the food banks. We also own the rights to the own the rights to the freeway in front of the Creation Museum, the Adopt a Highway. Yeah, that's us. We adopted the
Tony,
highway leading to the Creation Museum.
I got to say, I feel sorry for you. I pity you. I really do. Most atheists that I know, there's something that happened in their childhood. What happened with you?
Absolutely nothing happened to me in my childhood. I actually grew up in the church, played Jesus in the church play. What happened to me was I actually started reading the Bible, and I was actually prodded on to do it side by side, not just reading the book from front to back, reading it side by side and comparing data. And actually there's a lot of false data, a lot of conflicting items.
God is laughing at you right now. You know that, right, Tony?
Sure. Which one? Zeus? Which one? You pick your God.
So why did you get away from the church? Just what exactly happened? Was it something to do with your mom or your dad or anything like that?
We just slowly drift away. It seems to be a trend where most people, they grow up in the church. They grow up in the church and the religion of their region. Mm-hmm. Then in their midlife, they kind of party a little bit. They do some bad stuff, and then towards the end of their life, they come back to it for what we call fire insurance for the end. I just decided, after reading the Bible, and a lot of people actually decide that after reading the Bible, there's really nothing there. Who decides which religion is proper? Baptist, Mormon, Islam. It's regional. It's what you're taught. It's dogma, and we're taught not to question it. When you start reading the books, it just makes sense.
So, we're talking to Tony Arnold from Tri-State Free Thinkers. So, Tony, you mentioned growing up in the church. What church was that?
I grew up in a Catholic neighborhood, but I wasn't Catholic. Went to a Church of God. Also, there were a lot of black churches in the area, so I attended a lot of them. I've attended a lot of different churches, and that's where, you get to see how it's all regional. Everybody has their different beliefs. Most people, when they decide to go to church.
So what do you believe in, Tony? I'm just curious.
What do I believe in?
What do you believe in?
I believe in the human spirit. I believe people can get along together without living divisively, which religion creates a lot of divisiveness. I believe just be well. If you want to live forever, then you need to do good things for people so that you're remembered in there.
Yeah. You were talking about growing up in a black neighborhood. Were you beat up as a child?
No, actually, most of my friends, that's where I'm a little bit different. I was beat up by the Catholics, I will give you that. I went round and round with the Catholics, but no, I actually grew up in a real diverse neighborhood.
So, Tony, do you mind taking a couple of questions? We got some loaded lines here. Let's talk to Doug first up. Hey, Doug, you're on the big one. What is going on?
What's going on, guys? I got to say, this topic is a lot of fun because it'll never end. The debate will go on forever. Now,
correct.
I was raised Jewish. I moved out here about 10, 12 years ago, not married to a Jewish woman. And we've, as time goes on, you kind of look at what faith is and, what religion is. So I don't necessarily have a question for your guest as much as I appreciate his thought process. I understand that there is no right answer.
Right.
Faith is one of those things where it's exactly that. You have to have faith in it. And if you don't, there are other options. I don't personally have faith. So I don't have
What happened to you, Doug?
Huh?
What happened?
What do you mean, what happened?
Well, what happened in your life to kind of just push aside religion?
It's not a matter of pushing aside religion. Again, being Jewish I definitely feel a little different too, because I feel, culturally, I still identify as Jewish. But from a faith base, I don't. It's not something that I identify with. I don't look at a God saying, okay, that's the person that's guiding my every move. That's the person that's made that's the entity that's made all the decisions in my life and pushed me in certain directions. I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. And it's not from any type of a traumatic experience. It's just an evolution, which is what life is. Life is evolution.
Right. All right, Doug. Thanks for that. We got
Tony. Is there any good-looking wool that are atheist? that you know?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm amazed when I go to atheist conventions. Atheists figure they only have this one life, so they take care of themselves.
Okay.
My wife actually works in the fitness industry, and the last convention we went to, I told her, look around the room. You don't see very many out of shape people at these conventions.
Well, you will tonight.
And with that, Tony, we have Danny on the line. Danny in Eastgate, welcome. You're on the big one.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, thanks. Hi, thanks for taking my call.
How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing great, thanks. I'm at work right now. Can't wait to get off. But I've been pastoring for about 13 years. I've been, in my beliefs, what you call saved for about 21 years. And for many years, pastoring and street preaching, I was hateful and rock-ribbed, and I was one of those judgmental type people. And instead of getting completely out of church, I kind of had a change of heart because I saw that I was hurting more people than I was helping, and just had a real complex about, I'm better than you if you're not exactly like me or my religion. And well, I just really, and I would say in my beliefs, God got a hold of my heart and kind of said, this is really about people. In the end, it's all about people. It's not about anything else. So in the end, the only thing I come up with that I ever say outside of my church is I ask people, if you died today, what's next?
Yeah.
What do you believe? And whether it's free thinkers or religion or whether it be the atheist, the thing is even if I was just being selfish, I would want to go with the easiest what's next, the best looking what's next. You know what I mean? As a Christian, you know what I believe. I don't have to explain it. But, in all these things, it's just kind of scary to think that this is just it,
Tony, what do you think when you die, what happens?
Well, I would say to that statement that and that type of thinking, you actually degrade your God to think that you can trick him into you being faithful to him by taking the easy way out. I would think that if there actually was a God and I was to show up in front of him and he said, why didn't you believe? And I said, well, I simply didn't see enough evidence. He would respect that more so than just saying, well, everybody else told me to, so I did that.
Not getting in.
Yeah, I get it. The Bible says the secret things belongeth unto the Lord our God. So I admit in the beginning there are things. The one thing about Christian is we have a gap there that we call faith. Other people call lack of evidence, but we call it faith or whatever. And I don't want to argue that. But in the end, I tell people this, and this is kind of funny. If I'm dead wrong, I still led a pretty good life with a pretty good book, raised my kids according to a set of rules that I didn't make up. But if I'm right, man, that could be some consequences for others,
Well, here's one thing about that. We're here talking about evolution, and we're talking about the Creation Museum. If you take a step back and look at religion has evolved as well. You said you went to a church where they preached hate, where they preached divisiveness.
Oh, that was me.
And if you read the Bible, that's all
Danny.
in there. You've evolved from that. If you were to take a step back a couple centuries and go to church with the attitude that you have now, they'd boot you out.
Oh yeah.
So even religion has evolved, and there's no denying it. And it's just something in this day and age that really is not needed. And as far as the question, what do I believe happens when I die? Probably the same thing that happened before I was born.
Thanks for Danny. We got to get to a break here. But make room for you if we can. 749-7000, 1-800 the big one, pound 700 on AT&T. Ask our guest Tony Arnold from the Tri-State Free Thinkers to hang on while we do traffic and weather together. What is going on, Bruce?
Just got a call about an accident eastbound 125 before Amelia Olive Branch. The cars are off the side, but there's debris in the road, so that's going to tie things up a bit. Slow northbound 75 between the Viaduct and Shepherd, and then again between GE and 275 southbound at Laughlin till you get south of the lateral, and then again from Ezra Charles through to Kyle. 71 north from the lateral to Pfeiffer, southbound down the Kenwood, cut heavy, and Reading to the bridges starting to slow down as well. I'm Bruce Davis with traffic sponsored by Watson's for all the fun. 700 WLW.
Fox 19 Storm Tracker weather. Got that winter storm warning in effect for Decatur, Fayette, Union, and Franklin counties in Indiana, Butler, Warren, and Clinton in Ohio. The ice storm warning for everybody else. Snow moving into the area, heavy at times, especially north of the metro. Freezing rain also, heavy at times around. We're talking 28 degrees around about 10 o'clock tonight. The precip continues, 4 to 6 inches of snow possible, especially north of the city, with all around the area. Ice accumulations, a quarter inch or more around the area. Eventual low of 25. 31 now, 700 WLW. Back with Eddie and Tracy. Big doings tonight at the Creation Museum. Creationism versus evolution. Bill Nye, the science guy, versus Creation Museum founder Ken Ham here to discuss with us Tony Arnold from Tri-State Free Thinkers.
Hey, Tony, I wanted to ask you a question. I played the major leagues, was a Major League Baseball player, still a Major League Baseball player. And before I got in the batter's box, I used to give the old sign of the cross. That really helped me. Do you believe in athletes giving the sign of the cross? Seems to help a lot of players.
Oh, you can do whatever you want to do. If it makes you feel better, just don't declare that I have to do it, and okay. I'm fine with that. And you said that works well for you?
It worked well for me. I went 4 for 5 against the Yankees. I forgot to do it the next game, though.
I have a question for you. Yeah. After you got out of the major leagues, by any chance did you try beer league softball?
No.
No,
you're not allowed to. If you're once a major leaguer, you can't lower yourself to play with the has-beens.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Tony, hang on for a second. We got Jeff in Westchester. You had a question for Tony.
I sure do, Tony. Do you have any children or grandchildren?
I do.
And when you saw that little baby for the first time, wasn't that a joy and love? And do you think that came from science, or do you think that came from a spirit that science or neither you or anyone else can create?
Well, there's nothing that says that just because you don't believe in God that you can't enjoy life and enjoy its wonders and be awed. That's just silly.
And everything that you enjoy, you cannot create. You cannot create a child on your own. You can't get a petri dish and all the scientists and all the free thinkers in the world.
No, you can't create a child on your own. You need your wife.
And can't create life without God. It's that simple.
Well, it's that simple for you, but which God creates that life? Which that's the thing. This all works without a God.
It's a Baptist God or a Christian God. If you don't have faith, you don't have anything.
You're empty.
You're
an
empty
soul.
I can tell you right now that
I
statistics show that atheism is most people are losing their religion. I don't call it losing faith. I call it finding reason.
And you know what? Hey, Tony, people are calling
lined
up.
up.
Can we ask you to hang on and stay with us through the next half hour? Have you got that much time?
Sure, no problem.
And if you'd like, we can call you back, or you can hang on hold, and because we're going to be about 6-7 minutes probably.
No problem. I'll wait.
All right, we'll put you on hold.
I'm so sorry for Tony.
And then give you a shot to come back.
I'll think for you.
And Tony, you've heard the old joke. Somebody sent it in. What do you call an atheist when he dies?
What's that?
A guy all dressed up with no place to go.
I'll own that.
All right, man. Hold on. We'll be back with your cause. Ed, Tracy, and you, 700 WL. All right, back with Eddie and Tracy. We're going to be getting back into that very subject here in just a couple of minutes, talking about the creationism versus evolution debate going on tonight at the Creation Museum. But now, Segi, what do you got?
Seg, do you believe in God?
Yes.
Attaboy.
News Radio 700
God bless
WLW
you,
Reds
Seg.
update. The Reds Hot Stove League show will air in studio tonight, not at the Holy Grail Banks due to the impending winter weather. It's going to hit the Tri-State. Lance will be welcoming in Tom Brenneman and Jim Kelch as a special guest for the hour. And then after the Hot Stove League, Reds first baseman Joey Votto, special guest on Sports Talk from 7 to 8. College basketball, due to the impending winter weather, the Chris Mack show is canceled for tonight. That show will be airing tomorrow night from 7 to 8 on 55 KRC. On the court tonight, Miami's at Northern Illinois. Number 18, Kentucky, will play host to Ole Miss at 7 on ESPN 1530. And then Ohio State takes on number 17, Iowa. ECHL hockey tonight at the U.S. Bank Arena. Cyclones will battle Toledo. And that is a look at sports right here on 700 WLW.
Thank you, Seg. We go back to our calls, your calls, talking to our friend Tony Arnold from Tri-State Free Thinkers. Tony, you still there?
I am right here.
Thanks for hanging on with us. We got a full bank of phones, and we want to get to
Tony,
them.
I want to just ask you a question because I think it's important. Let's say you go home. Let's say, do you work?
Yes, I do.
What's your job?
I do in-home repairs.
Okay. Let's say
I'm
you
like
come.
Cologne.
Okay, so that's kind of like a B job. Let's say you come home from work. You got a 5-course meal. It is perfect. It's on the table. The food is great. You know someone made it, right?
Yes,
someone
my wife,
is
generally.
responsible. That's life. That's what we're talking about. Tony, please do me a favor. Open your eyes. You have to open your... Tony, you are so jaded, right? You are so against religion. Listen, we want you back, Tony. We want you back. you want to come back?
I'm absolutely not. These are
then
all
the hell with
chemical
you then.
processes.
Continue.
Go to hell.
Yeah,
Nice
go to hell.
way to go there,
Bastard.
Jesus. Hey, Taylor in Independence, you've been holding for a while. What do you got for Tony?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to point two things out. I think it's funny because all these guys, I went to an art school, and I knew a bunch of guys like Tony and girls, and they've all got the same problem. They all were raised in some sort of religion.
Yeah, art.
And then all of a sudden,
we read it.
They find it too hard, and they don't want to be part of that religion, so they make up this idea that it doesn't exist, it's too hard, let's just be free thinkers.
That's a cop-out. It's harder, actually, to do what I do.
It's hilarious, because, that's how most of these other religions were even started to begin with. They all came from this one idea because the rules were too tough. So they said, well, let's take some of these rules out, and now we're going to be this Church of the Nazarene. It's a little bit easier to follow. It's all the same thing. It's hilarious, I think. So I just wanted to point that out.
Good point, Taylor.
I would turn that around and say that those rules were created by man to control man, and if you want to fall in line, go right ahead.
Well, you know what? Hey, Tony, there are such things as rules of civilization. Can we agree at least on that?
Absolutely. There are rules of decency. And
Can I make one more point?
Before these religions were ever created.
Go for it.
One more point.
Go,
all
Taylor.
of these, and I know it's a tough subject to talk about, but a lot of these school shootings that have happened recently, I think there's a common trend. They all happen at public schools where there's no God.
Taylor, you know what? With that,
that wasn't a real good point, Taylor. You should have stopped with your own head.
A little bit of a stretch there, my friend. And Tony, let me ask you to hang on for 30 more seconds while we do traffic and weather together.
No problem.
Dealing with interstate problems now, including an accident eastbound 275 under the Montgomery Road overpass, already backing things up to Reed-Hartman Highway. Just saw the sheriff's deputy headed that way. Northbound 75 at Town Street, a wreck. Brake lights from out of downtown, and then again GE to 275 southbound, not a whole lot better. Slow Laughlin to Mitchell, and then from Hopple through to the bridge. And looking at an accident on eastbound 125 at Amelia Olive Branch, cleaning up an accident in northern Kentucky, southbound 7175 at Mount Zion Road, tying up traffic back before that interchange, and looking at very slow traffic around an accident on Glenway south of Ferguson and Glenway at Ross, working in Queen City at Work Road, and an accident on Winnesty at Strand Lane. I'm Bruce Davis with traffic sponsored by Watson's for all the fun, 700 WLW.
Fox 19 Storm Tracker weather. Depending on where you're at, depending on what you get with the weather, regardless, there's going to be kind of a sloppy mess through tonight. We're looking at ice storm warnings all over the area, winter storm warnings in select counties. But regardless, it starts at snow, heavy at times, freezing rain moving in behind that. We're looking at around the area, 4 to 6 inches of snow, more north of the city, ice accumulations of a quarter inch or more, and the low of 25. Eventually, it's 30 now, 700 WLW. Tony Arnold is with us. He is president of Tri-State Free Thinkers. Tony, you still there?
Absolutely.
Tony, are you married?
I am. I've been married for, I got to get this right, 26 years.
See, that's kind of weird. I heard you met your wife on Christian Mingle. No?
I don't think that existed back then.
Oh, that did. Hey, it's starting.
Ray and Dayton, what's going on with you, bud? You're on the big one. Where's it? Hold on, Ray. Let me get you here.
Ray. Hold on, Tony.
Ray bailed.
Ray,
no, he wants a piece of you, Tony.
Ray,
you need to hold on. This guy's ready for
Ray
you.
claimed he was there.
Oh, here he is. He did. He chickened out.
Fine intervention.
How about, that's right, God struck him down. Hey, Jerry, what's going on with you? You're on the big one with Tony Arnold.
Great. How you guys doing today?
Good.
The question is that what does he think about near-death experiences from individuals?
I think near-death experience, there's no such thing as near-death. You're either dead or you're not. So the term near-death is no good. I think it's
close
what can
to
happen
death.
to you if you're on medication, and when you go out of it, it's what your brain waves can do.
True, but some people have been actually legally dead and gone through different processes, whether they thought that they were in heaven or whether they thought they were in hell.
Well, the thing is, these people see people that they knew in their lives. When they see Jesus, they see the version of Jesus, the white guy with long brown hair. They see things that they would be familiar with. These are all familiar brain waves pinging and going on with medication, and when they're brought back, good for them. They made it back. But there's really nothing to near-death experiences. It's what can happen to your brain on medication when trauma happens to your body.
Jerry, you don't go for that, do you?
I'm sorry, my phone broke up. I'm sorry.
All right, well, sorry about that.
Divine intervention.
DJ, real quick, what do you got for Tony Arnold from Tri-State Free Thinkers?
And I just want to let him know he's going to hell for thinking the way he's thinking and coming on the radio and talking like
That's
this.
a lot of anger there, but mate.
No, I am angry.
You don't even know me. I'm a nice guy.
You're spreading. No, I mean, you're going to wind up in hell for not embracing God, not embracing Jesus, and things like that. I mean, you are.
And things like that?
What?
I said, and things like that? Which things?
No, you mean you don't have any kind of faith or anything like that?
Yes, I just told you I have faith in human beings. I have faith in humanity. I do a lot of good in the community, as do many
go
atheists.
To heaven or to hell, where are you going to wind up? God, I mean, you're just not even acknowledging what created all of this and have no faith in that. And then you come on the radio like this and just try to rile people up.
Open your eyes, Tony.
My eyes are wide open.
No, not you. You get your eyes open. It's Tony. He's got his eyes closed.
Such anger. My goodness.
No, I'm not. I'm angry because, you're on here. You guys have been on the radio all day. I've been listening all day, and I'm tired of hearing from you guys.
Then turn the radio off. This is reality.
Well, we don't want to lose listeners. Don't encourage people. It's the number one show on the radio.
But, DJ, this is what debate is all about.
I know, but he's passionate about religion. That's the thing with DJ.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, no reason to get angry with the guy. Oh, man. Tony, would you hang on for a little while longer?
Absolutely.
We'll come back and finish up our calls we got here. Ed, Tracy, and you, 700 WLW.
Dealing with an accident southbound 7175 before Richwood Road. Car on its top. The left two lanes are getting by that, but traffic very slow back towards 42. Looking at an accident on Madison Pike south of Fiskburg Road in DeMossville. The road is blocked there. North 75 accident near Town Street. You're slow out of downtown. Eastbound 275 under Montgomery Road's overpass, a wreck, and traffic slow back towards 42 at Sharonville. Glenway at Ross, Queen City at Work Road, Winesty at Strand Lane. Accidents as well. I'm Bruce Davis with traffic sponsored by Watson's for all the fun. 700 WLW.
Fox 19 storm tracker weather. It is right on the edge of moving into the area. We're talking ice. We're talking snow. We could see any time now heavy snow begin around the area. That lasts until a few hours from now. That changes over to perhaps freezing rain, depending on where you're at. We're looking at a possibility of 4 to 6 inches of snow, especially north of the metro, a quarter inch or more of ice in the metro. Eventual low of 25. 30 now, 700 WLW. Back with our guest, Tony Arnold. He is our PR director, Tony, for Tri-State Free Thinkers.
Yeah, I just do public relations for him. I'm not actually the president. He is off doing his thing today, trying to promote this event we're having tonight and getting all of the everything set up. So,
Tony, how are you feeling taking an hour phone calls? It seems like you're getting your ass kicked.
No, not
you
really.
All right?
Guys are just basically other guys are showing their ass and getting angry.
Well, that last guy I don't think was very good.
I think I've counted twice. I've been hung up on in an hour. I think that might be a record. I don't think you guys get that this much.
You'd be surprised. Doug in Indian Hill, what do you got for Tony?
Hey, I've been listening all day. I was just listening to that last guy who sounded like a whack job, and the hard part is, for those of us that are people of faith, a person like you on the radio seemed to have more, what we would call fruits of the Spirit, more discipline, more restraint than the guy who said he was a person of faith. So you're actually
I would agree.
What we believe. So kudos on you for that. My question was just a curious one. Your formation of what you believe, is it based more, would you say, on who God is and your perception of that, or is it more based on what religious people are like and what organized religion is like?
For me, it's based on actually reading the scripts. I've read the Bible, I've read the Quran, I've read most of the Book of Mormon. That's hard to get through. But everybody claims their faith, and it's always what was taught to them, dogma. Same thing to me. Everybody's faith is based on the area that they grew up in. That last guy's anger, you multiply that times millions of people, and there's your wars right there. There's all of your animosity, each claiming to have spiritual truth, each claiming to have had wondrous miracles occur, and that's where it comes from. Basically, I guess you could say I ate of the fruit of knowledge, if you want to. But, yeah.
Well, so did Adam and Eve, pal.
I know.
See what that got him.
I'm one of those guys. I don't think faith and knowledge are necessarily, opposites. I mean, anybody with knowledge, you've obviously put some faith in what you've read or the source material that you've read, and then your own ability to discern it, which I don't challenge in any way. So in your worldview, what's the goal of life, and what happens after we die?
The goal of life is to be good to each other. If you're lucky enough to have children, to try and provide a future for the children, and teach them. Not teach them what to think, but teach them how to think.
So
let them come to their own conclusions,
and then that's it.
And get the hell out of the way.
And then that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Get the hell out of the way.
Well, hopefully role model it a little bit as well, I would say.
Well,
sure.
Right. You got to be a good person. And thanks for that, Doug. We got to get going. I mean, you want to be a good person. The kids, that's how kids learn.
Well, for me, that's my only, that's a lot of atheists. That's our.
And Tony,
our
you have
living
kids?
forever.
Wait a minute, you have kids?
Absolutely.
Oh, boy.
Trey and Clifton, real quick, what do you have for Tony Arnold?
Okay, well, I like to use science logic. So if there isn't a God, then how, and they did this, evolution, how is there, a monkey and then a human, but there's no middleman? And then also, humans write books, and the genetic code is written as a book. It's there's all combinations to different genes and amino acids, which are letters, basically. So that's my question.
So your question is how did we go from a monkey to a man?
There's no middleman, is what he's saying. No middle monkey.
Well, let me ask you this. The first guy to build a boat built it out of bricks, put it in the water, boat sank to the ground, or sank in the water. Next one, he didn't build out of bricks. Where's the proof that brick boat ever existed?
But evolution,
evolution is
it's a slow process. It's an ever-changing.
It is. It's a slow process, and we as humans, we dissolve back into the earth. You're not going to find a whole bunch of, in certain circumstances, you may find bones, you may find remnants, but you're not going to find answers. And I don't claim to know all of those answers. The person who needs to leave the room is the one who claims that they know the answers, and it's a God.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying humans are, based off God, and if God wrote us in a book fashion, and we write books, I mean, that's just. There's a lot of small things like that
there's a lot to this.
That's what I was going to say. You know what? Yeah. And thanks, Trey.
On and on.
On and on, absolutely.
The debate will go on tonight at the Creation Museum. What kind of event are you having there, Tony Arnold? What's your
we
event?
are having the American Atheist President, David Silverman, has come in and brought his crew and helped us with the facility. We normally hold our meetings there, but he's going to be out tonight. We will be there starting at 6. We'll watch the debate, and then we will have drinks and debate and conversation afterwards till about 11 p.m. We certainly, our group and American Atheists invited Bill Nye over afterwards, so we'll see what happens. And
Tony, I got to tell you, I appreciate you being on. I really do. And I think you would agree with me. It is what it is.
It was what it was, and it is what it is.
Perfect.
I will agree.
Perfect.
Tony Arnold, we appreciate you talking to us.
All right, great. Thanks, guys.
And that debate will never, ever end.
Keep these people on hold for Lance at 6. Keep these on hold for Marty. Oh, no, wait a minute.
He'll straighten some people out. We got news coming up. 700 WLW.
Jesus.